show you how to get logged into School Messenger. Today I'm going to show you how to get logged into School Messenger. Most people would have received an email from myself, Lisa.Scott, from the board office. You should have received an email about School Messenger, and in that email would have been the URL to be able to get onto the login screen. So I've taken that URL and I've copied it and pasted it into my notepad. So I'm going to copy and paste this now. And because I have everything saved in my Chrome browser, I'm going to use Internet Explorer for this one. So I'm just going to highlight that and paste this in here and hit enter, and we get our login screen. Because I use Chrome for most of my stuff and all of my things are saved, I'm actually going to use Internet Explorer for this demonstration. So up in our address bar, I'm going to right-click and select Paste and Go, and it opens up our board's login screen for School Messenger. The login username in School Messenger will be your first name dot last name, the same as your Active Directory account. And the password I didn't provide to you. Our passwords do not sync with School Messenger, so we will have to create a separate password for this product. Down here, we're going to click Forgot Your Password. So let's do that. In here, we type in our username, and then we confirm it, click send, and here you'll see that it's sending an email to your email with a confirmation code. And in about 10 seconds, it'll pop up with a confirmation code page. There we go, password assistant. So that means that that email's been sent. So let's go and have a look at the email. So we can see right here, I've got my email and here's my confirmation code. So I'm just going to copy this confirmation code. I'm going to minimize this, go back to my screen and paste that in there. And now I can select my new password. If you would like, so now I can, so now I can select my new password. So now I can select my new password. Remember that passwords should always be complex and a little bit hard to figure out, but we don't have any restrictions on what you need to use for passwords, just that it needs to be a minimum of 8 characters. Remember that passwords should be complex and unique. The only restriction that we have on these passwords is that they need to be a minimum of 8 characters. So I'm going to go ahead and put in my password that I would like to change it to, and I'm not going to show anybody today. Click continue, and that brings us into our dashboard. And that's all there is to it. That's how we get logged in and change the password for School Messenger. This is where we're going to leave it for today. We'll have another session and I will show you how to create a new broadcast. And as with every program we're in, don't forget to log out and have a good day. Okay, I like that one better. But I should do that again with the bookmark. Hi, today I'm going to show you how to get logged into School Messenger. Sometime in the last little while, you should have received an email that had the URL or the web address for School Messenger. If you have, um, um, I've actually copied the web address onto a notepad document, and I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to open up my Windows. I'm going to open up my Chrome browser, and I'm going to open up my Chrome browser and select a new tab, and then I'm going to paste the URL in there, and it's going to take me to the login screen. Now you can see I've already saved my stuff in here, but for this demonstration, so that it will, so it's taken us to the login screen. So in here, the username for the login on School Messenger is your Active Directory username. So that would be your first name dot last name. We put that in. Now, nobody has received a password, and that's because we're going to get you to set your password yourself. So we're going to select on Forgot Your Password. And in here, we're going to put your username. So again, that's your Active Directory username, first name dot last name. And then we're going to click Send. And you see that you're going to receive an email containing a code. And as soon as that email's been sent, you'll receive a password assistant page. And here we go. So now we need to get that confirmation code. So let's go back to our email, and you can see here that I've got a reset password, and here's my confirmation code. So I can copy this back to my School Messenger, paste, and now, whoops, sorry, I can copy my, so here we can see the confirmation code, and I can highlight and copy my confirmation code, go back to School Messenger and paste it in here. And now, again, so here you can see that I've got my confirmation code. I can highlight my confirmation code, copy, and then I'm going to take it over here and paste it into the School Messenger. And then now I'm going to put in my new password. Oops. I think it's worth noting that when you select your password, they should be a complex password, because this site will contain information and personal data about your students. So it is important to create a complex password, although there are no restrictions in this, except for Although the only restriction with School Messenger is that it needs to be a minimum of 8 characters, it should be a complex password, similar to your Active Directory one. So 8 characters, capital letter, number, special characters, something that makes it a little bit more difficult for people to try and figure out. So I'm going to go ahead and put my new password in, and then I'm going to click Continue. And it logs us in to the School Messenger. So I'm going to log out again, and I'm going to show you, because I did change my password. There's my login username, and then I'll put in the new password that I just created, and we're back into dashboard. So as always, remember to always log out of all of the programs that you are logged into. And the other thing I'd like to show you is how to create. So now that we've, so now that we are, so now that we are on the board's login screen, so now that we're on the board's login page for School Messenger, one of the first things I'm going to show you how to do is to create a shortcut on your desktop for this. So up here, this so these two little squares here allow us to shrink our screen down a little bit. Doesn't minimize it and send it all the way to the bottom, but it just shrinks it a bit. And then the next, so once we've done that, we can see our desktop behind us. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hover over this, and then I'm going to left click and I'm going to drag that onto my screen. And now I've created a login button just for my School Messenger. So if I minimize this and I double click on that, you'll see that it opens up the School Messenger tab in here. Because I already had Chrome open, it's opening up, it's just adding another tab to the one that I was already on. If you'd like to customize this to make sure you know what it is, if you right click and then click rename, you can put School Messenger in there. And then you know for sure that this is the School Messenger one that you want. And the other thing that if you want, so now that we've created the shortcut on our desktop, we're going to log in for the first time. So now that we've created the shortcut on our desktop, we're going to log in for the first time. The login username is your Active Directory name. So that would be your first name dot last name. And since I didn't send out any passwords, we're going to have you create your own password. So we're going to click on the Forgot Your Password down here at the bottom right. In here, we're going to put your username again. And then we're going to click Send. And you'll see that you're going to receive an email to your email address containing a code so that we can change our password. And the password assistant has popped up, so that means that that code is now there. So I'm going to go back here and I'm going to look here, and here's my confirmation code, and you can see that it's from School Messenger. So I'm going to copy this. Oh, make sure you don't get that space at the front because that might not work. So we're going to copy that, go back to School Messenger, put in your confirmation code, and then your new password. Now, passwords for School Messenger are not as complex as they are for Active Directory, but it is worth noting that the information contained in School Messenger is all of your student data. So it has very sensitive information, and the password that you select for this should be a complex password. So a minimum of 8 characters, a capital letter, a number, and it shouldn't contain your first or last name. So I've put in my password, and now I'm going to click continue. So I've put in my password, now I'm going to click continue, and it brings us to the School Messenger dashboard. That's all for today. Remember, we are in an active session. You need to log out and make sure that it closes up. And